Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today I want to shine light on Florida's current insurance crisis and how it's leaving people stranded with little to no help after these two major hurricanes. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and posts. You can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. Now, for people who lived in Florida for the past decade, this insurance crisis isn't anything new to you. Having Florida have some of the highest insurance rates with little to no coverage and thousands of scamming based operations. But since these past two hurricanes, Helene and Milton, Floridians are seeing this insurance crisis way bigger than they have ever seen it before, having some insurance companies just straight up get up and leave, or when they do stay, having them double down on their pricing, only covering certain things. For example, homeowners and flood insurance is causing a huge problem because if your roof gets destroyed or you lose food during the storm, instead of insurance fully covering it, they are sending you to FEMA to apply. And through that, people are getting denied based on the areas they live in and how much they made before the storm. And that's a huge problem because, yes, maybe people did make a pretty good income before the storm, but that doesn't mean their jobs didn't get ruined or they didn't get laid off. So when they apply for these things or any type of reimbursement, instead of getting help and based off their current income after the storm, they are judged on income before the storm, which will then debate who gets help and who doesn't. Also, when it comes to flood insurance, most insurance companies don't cover it, so it's a whole separate payment. And even then, with flood insurance, it does not cover your additional living expenses if your house does get damaged. It does not cover pools, fences, and trees. And you can only get help if you fit the FEMA requirements. So, because of this crazy problem, people are now just straight up canceling their insurances because they pay hundreds of dollars a week for something that doesn't even cover them when things like this happen, leaving them with thousands of dollars in repairs with little to no help financially. Lastly, with now the lack of insurance companies, it's not only going to raise the prices in housing and rent, making it harder for normal people like you and I to live our everyday lives, but it's also going to be a big roadblock for people like Airbnb and renters who use housing as a main source of income. So now people are not only losing their homes due to repairs and financial struggles, but they're also losing their income due to insurance rates going through the roof, having it harder for them to cover certain homes and areas that their properties are potentially in. But with that said, today's quote is by DBS Singapore. They once said, "We live in an unpredictable world these days. Thus, there are many legitimate reasons to prepare yourself for these unannounced curveballs." I appreciate you tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcast.